Thank you very much for the compliment, and I'd like to ask you to give me just a minute to explain why I don't really think that this is a waste of dirt. So, the steel on these beds is cut to be about 24 inches. You can see it's buried down a little bit. Um, we filled them up to, let's say, about 21 inches, and about 8 to 10 inches of that is going to be full of this stuff, just scraps of wood, little chunks, stuff left over from splitting firewood. The reason we did this, you may already be familiar with the term hugelkultur. Traditionally, it's done in a big mound where you pile up logs and branches and then smaller sticks progressively as it gets higher. Cover it with dirt and then plant your plants all through that. And the idea of it is that while the wood breaks down, you do get some beneficial nutrients back into the soil to feed the plants. But the bigger benefit of it is that you have countless little critters, little bugs, fungi, microbes, all these different organisms that are going to be in there breaking down that wood and feeding off the wood, that are also going to have a beneficial relationship with the plants that are growing above it. So as that goes on, they're going to be breaking it down. The wood's going to go lower and lower and compact. While it's doing that, it's creating little air pockets and everything. The soil above is also going to then lower down. This is also going to allow us to have more room in here to add more compost next year. Now, the soil that we put on top isn't just some bagged soil that we bought from Lowe's or Home Depot. So again, your definition of it being a waste, that's up to you. I don't really consider it to be. We got 6 cubic yards of leaf compost from our local township delivered for $40. $40 may be a lot in some scenarios, some situations. If that's the case in my township, I could have taken my truck, driven down there, loaded it up, come back a couple times. To get 6 yards, probably would have taken me 4 or 5 trips at about half an hour a piece. So the $40 was well worth it to me to just get it dropped off, and then I can just load it up in a wheelbarrow, bring it over here. It's not just these 3 beds that it filled. It also filled my zinnia garden out by the street. It's filled a bunch of beds out back, and we still have probably 2 yards of it left. I understand that not all places have this, but in my town, we have a lot of giant oak trees. At least in my section of town, we have a lot of giant oak trees. But all the trees around town end up, dropping their leaves. Most of them do, unless they're evergreens. But the deciduous trees drop their leaves in the fall, and not a lot of people are equipped to handle these many leaves in their backyard. Even me, somebody who composts a lot, I can't handle all these leaves. I might maybe compost about 1/8 of the leaves on my own because I have so much other composting going on. But the township will come along, suck up all the leaves that are out at the street, and they take them back to their composting yard, where over the course of, I think it's 18 months, they are turned from leaves into what many folks around here call black gold. Just really good, high nutrient leaf compost. And I've grown a ton of veggies with this stuff. My tomatoes really love it. Again, I do a lot of composting on my own, but this is also a great way to reuse what's already been, what's already coming from the trees in the town. So just back to cost real quick. I priced out 6 yards of leaf compost with a local nursery, one that I've dealt with in the past, and probably still will in the future for other things. 6 yards of leaf compost from them would be roughly $276 to be delivered. Again, I paid $40. If you can't find anything that like that around, and you're using Lowe's or Home Depot, one of the big box home improvement centers, to get 6 yards of compost, you're looking at somewhere around like $880 some, just going off of a quick Google search. So I would say that my $40, while some might call that a waste, I would say I kind of weighed it out pretty good. And again, I could have gotten it for free with a little extra labor. If you don't know of any way that you can somehow benefit from something like this, I highly recommend looking it up. I understand that all towns or townships or counties don't do things like this, but I would imagine that some way, somehow, if at least I'm in the suburbs, I'm not in the middle of nowhere in the sticks. So out in a rural area, I might be able to find a farmer or something that has a pretty good deal on composted manure, something like that. There's a ton of different ways to get high quality materials for fairly cheap. So all depends on what you're willing to do for it. So hope this helps, and again, thank you very much for the compliments. I think that they look pretty awesome, and hopefully they will be easily maintainable. I'm going with a nice straw mulch this year. I think that that's going to keep the weeds down, and yeah, check on back for updates later on. Have a good one.